live inside the love, build the world I'm dreaming of. If you can hear my voice, it's clear I made the choice to live inside the love. There is a promise of spring after the winter is through. Chill and the darkness will bring a beautiful sky that is blue. 'Cause it's easy to wait and hide in a room as if I'll emerge from a tiny cocoon. Since I got time, I will start to prepare to welcome the sun and breathe the fresh air. Live inside the love, build the world I'm dreaming of. If you can hear my voice, it's clear I made the choice to live inside the love. Inside my heart there's a space to hold all the love that I share. I use some in every embrace, and I send it to you in a prayer. For it's easy to wait and hide in a room as if I'll emerge from a tiny cocoon. Since I've got time, I will start to prepare to welcome the sun, breathe the fresh air. I will live inside the love, build the world I'm dreaming of. You can hear my voice, it's clear I made the choice to live inside the love. For I live inside the love, build the world I'm dreaming of. If you can hear my voice, it's clear I made the choice to live inside the love.
Thank you, as always, Michael. So what more can you say about what poet E.E. Cummings called the voice under all silences, the hope which has no opposite in fear, the strength so strong, mere force is feebleness, the truth more first than sun, more last than star. I am talking about love, a subject so vast that to try to cover it in 20 minutes is a fool's errand, though pretty much every minister has tried, and in more than one Sunday lesson. So looking through my own vault of Sunday lessons to see what I've said about it before, because we are looking at some of the different themes of Advent this month, which Reverend Jerry started last week with his look at peace. I found plenty of lessons focusing on love. And one of them included a true story from last year, which still seems relevant, especially since in the last year we have seen so many previously unimaginable ways in which adults have acted out. So this is the true story. A woman named Feroza Syed was in the drive-through lane of a fast food restaurant in suburban Atlanta, and she saw the man in the car in front of her throw a drink at the woman who was in the drive-through window, the employee of the fast food restaurant. Apparently, he did not want ice in his drink. So when Feroza pulled up, the woman, whose name was Brianna, was soaked and crying. She was also 6 months pregnant. Feroza gave her a $20 tip, expressed her outrage at the man's behavior, and offered to contact the police. Hours later, and still fuming, Feroza posted about the incident on her Facebook page and got a huge response. And that gave her an idea. She asked her thousands of Facebook friends and followers if they would be interested in sending $5 or whatever to her Venmo or Cash App, and she'd figure out a way to get the money to Brianna. Donations poured in. Feroza contacted the fast food restaurant and asked the manager to let Brianna know that she wanted to be in touch with her because she had a surprise for her. She gave Brianna the envelope, and as Brianna said, "I couldn't do nothing but cry because I wasn't expecting that." Inside the envelope was $1,700 in donations from people who saw Brianna's story on Facebook and, as Feroza said, wanted to put a smile on her face and show her not all humans are horrible. In an interview later, Feroza said that she didn't do anything special. Quote, "I just saw somebody being mistreated, and I didn't like what I saw. Doing the right thing inspires others to do the right thing. And what I keep learning again and again and again is when you see something like this, or any situation where someone is being mistreated or harmed, all it takes is one person to change the narrative." And again, I want you to please note what the final words of that story are. All it takes is one person to change the narrative. In many ways, these are some of the wisest words ever spoken, as that story testifies to. And I wanted to begin with the story that love is a fool's errand, because love is perhaps one of the most overused words in our vocabulary, and one that can be very easily misunderstood or overused, as I said. For instance, I might tell you that I love Coldplay's music, that I love chocolate, that I love Venice, that I love painting, that I love my daughter Chloe. Now, clearly, I would not be talking about the same kind of love or same degree of love for each of those things. And it's also important to note, as we look at love, that there are different types of love. The Christian writer C.S. Lewis wrote a book that I've mentioned before called The Four Loves. Anybody here read it? Jerry, did you? Nope. All right, check that out. It's called The Four Loves, and it examined the Greek definitions of love as being storge, or family love, philia, friend love, eros, romantic love, and agape, unconditional God love. And if you Google different types of love, you will find even more than 4. People looking at 8, 12 more categories of love. So the kind of love that Feroza showed Brianna was a different category of love, wasn't it? Much different from I love chocolate. And since in Advent we are spiritually preparing ourselves for the rebirth of the Christ within us, that's the kind of love we want to be reflecting on. And as we look at that kind of love, let us also reflect on its power. New Thought spiritual leader and author Emmett Fox wrote this: "There is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer, no disease that enough love will not heal, no door that enough love will not open, no gulf that enough love will not bridge, no wall that enough love will not throw down, no wrong that enough love will not set right. It makes no difference how deeply seated may be the trouble, how helpless the outlook, how muddled the tangle, how great the mistake. A sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all. If only you will love enough, you will be the happiest, most powerful being in the world. Now, that's a pretty powerful statement, isn't it? And I have returned to that quotation many times since I first encountered it, especially when I faced a difficulty of some sort. There is no difficulty that enough love will not conquer. And why I spent the time to mention again this random story that I happened to encounter last year is because I think it gives flesh to this idea, literally. It is a great example of an embodied response, a response of love that takes the abstract and sentimental quality of love out of it and shows you tangibly how you can love. You can watch someone be mistreated by someone else and decide to show that person that, as Feroza said, not all humans are horrible. You can, as she also said, change the narrative. Now, nearing our second full year of navigating this global pandemic, with new strains of it being reported, we are still living in a very difficult time. We see suffering all around us. We saw it last night. I was so glad that Ron mentioned the people in Kentucky, and I believe Missouri as well, maybe Tennessee, who have really experienced a devastating tornado in the middle of December. So we see suffering around us every day, and even if we haven't lost our job or our house or a loved one to COVID, we are all suffering to greater and lesser degrees too. We still suffer from the departure from every norm we once had as we sit here in masks, and just for the people on Zoom, everybody in the sanctuary is wearing a mask, and only Michael and I don't when we are speaking or singing. And we may suffer from anxiety, from isolation, from not knowing when our lives will completely get back to normal, and from not knowing if they ever will get completely back like they were before. My husband reminded me of that last night. We were going to see a movie, and I said, gosh, I'm so tired of these masks. And he said, well, get used to it, because they're probably going to be with us for a long time. And I think he's right. So now we look again toward Christmas, and we hear the holiday songs about joy and love, and we may feel like those feelings are very far away right now. We may feel like we don't have any love or joy in our life. We may be feeling very alone. So here's the most important thing about love, which I've spoken about before, that it's also a verb, not just a noun. If we don't feel we have love, the noun, we can choose to love, the verb. We can remember that love is behavior. That love is the way that we show up, the things we do, the way we speak, the way we treat each other. We can change the narrative. The author Marianne Williamson wrote, "Love takes more than crystals and rainbows. It takes discipline and practice. It's not just a sweet sentiment from a Hallmark card. It is a radical commitment to a different way of being." I'm going to read that again. It is a radical commitment to a different way of being, a mental response to life. So let's take those words to heart and look for how we can express love, how we can be love. Perhaps it will be as simple as placing a call to another person who may be lonely, or sending that person a card. Perhaps it will be giving a big tip to the person who delivers your groceries, leaving out bottled water or snacks for delivery people, sending flowers to someone who you might know could use a pick-me-up. Perhaps, like Feroza did, it will be raising money online for someone who could use some financial help. As the author and anthropologist Angeles Arian said, who we spent last year studying, there are many arms of love, many ways to show it. So this week, in the days before Christmas, may we make a radical commitment to love, a radical commitment to a different way of being. May the Christ presence be reborn in our hearts not only on Christmas Day, but every day. May we realize that every day and every experience, even the experience of waiting for food in a drive-through line, can offer us opportunities to show love. May we, each one of us, change the narrative. And so it is. Thank you, God. So as Kelly turns down the lights, I invite you to lean back in your chairs. At home, for those of you on Zoom, lean back against your chair, your couch, or your bed, wherever you are, so we can move more deeply into a time of meditation. And just allow yourself to get comfortable, to rest in whatever it is that you are resting on, to take a few slow, deep breaths and begin to relax. And let that lovely music that Michael is playing begin to draw your awareness inward. And as you breathe, feel your attention moving deeper and deeper within you. Deeper and deeper inside yourself, because we are going to return to that place in you which knows only and which is only love. So as your body becomes more and more relaxed, just turn your attention now to your heart center, located in the center of your chest, near your physical heart. And if you like, if you want to, place your hand there, bringing warmth and breath to your heart. And notice what it is that you are feeling there. Notice any thoughts, feelings, memories that might surface as you bring loving attention to your heart. And now I invite you to imagine a stream of pure white light above your head. A stream that flows softly into your body, showering you with radiance. And this light flows directly to your heart center, gently warming your heart like rays of sunshine. And breathe deeply, receiving this gift. See the wide open expanses, the space which is filled with this warmth of divine love. Take this time to give love to yourself, to have empathy for yourself, to nurture yourself with compassion, to fill yourself with the warmth of divine love. And in this beautiful spaciousness, begin to remember yourself as love. It is a spiritual truth that mystic Joel Goldsmith wrote about, that love does not come to us, love is within us, and we must open a way for it to escape. And Science of Mind founder Ernest Holmes wrote that God has deposited love at the center of our being, whether we realize it or not. So this is your time to realize it. This is your time to know it. This is your time to feel the radiance in your heart expanding outward, filling your entire body with its warmth. And the radiance now expands outwards toward others. As you begin to feel that love, that capital L love flowing in your heart, put your attention on a person you saw in the sanctuary today or in a Zoom box this morning, and give that person the gift of compassion, of empathy. Someone you saw this morning. And just embrace that person with your loving heart and surround him or her with the warmth of love. And now think of friends and acquaintances and relatives, anyone who comes to mind, and send that feeling of togetherness, of caring, of love to them. And then go further to everyone in this city, to everyone in this state, in this nation, in this world. On this feast day of Guadalupe, feel your love reach out so far and so wide to everyone. And now begin to place your attention back on yourselves again and recognize the joy that comes from this loving, this giving, this sending of compassion to ourselves, our neighbors, our loved ones, and all those with whom we share life on this planet. And know that you can feel this sense of complete and total love at any time you choose to. Just take one more moment to rest in this love, this all-enfolding love. And now, begin to gently bring your awareness back to this room, back to this place and time. Allow yourself to stretch, beginning with your fingers or your feet. And when you feel ready, open up your eyes and return to waking consciousness. And what are we? What are we here? Let us affirm what we say we are, what this tree celebrates that we are. At Unity Spiritual Center, we are an ocean of love. Here at Unity Spiritual Center, we have an inspiring vision, an exciting mission, and compelling values by which we strive to live, and I invite you to join with me in saying them aloud together. Our vision is centered in God. We co-create a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. Our mission is we are a creative, joy-filled spiritual community dedicated to healing, inspiring, and transforming the lives of all people through prayer, education, and love. And our values are: we are spirit-led, generous with resources, inclusive, joyously creative, and guided by integrity. And in this space, feeling inspired by our vision, mission, and values, feeling enriched by what we've experienced here today, let us take time now to be a channel for enrichment through our generous tithes and love offerings. As Michael shares another beautiful song, please take that time to write out a check to USC, or if you're on Zoom, to make a donation online using the link provided in the chat. If you're here in the sanctuary, Kelly will come forward to take your offering. Practicing the principle of tithing ourselves as a spiritual community, we are pleased to tithe 10% of the offering collected every Sunday to various Unity organizations and to local nonprofits serving our city. So let's take a moment now to bless our tithes and our love offerings, placing them in our hands or next to our hearts as we say our offertory prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
Love can be found waiting around. Words in your ear, they are nothing to fear. Let love come in, let life begin. Sorrow will leave if you only believe. Many words have been written, many songs have been sung, but they only ring true if you hear. And the path that you choose, whether old or yet young, may bring a smile or a tear. For love can be found waiting around. The words in your ear, they are nothing to fear. Let love come in, let life begin. Sorrow will leave if you only believe. There's a chance you will travel, remain close to home. Follow the sound of your heart. Reach out into the others, take love where you roam. give thanks before you depart. Listen for love, and it will come your way. You can take just a moment to cry. Listen to love, for the world may seem gray.